Meanwhile, further up the road, May was getting some bad news about that night's accommodation.
Hang on, you're not saying it's a bloody campsite? So you've brought me on a crap road, worse than the one we're on, and we've got a car down, you've ruined the Lotus, and at the end of this you want me to stay in a tent? You might find one of your tent poles is missing, but don't worry, I know where it is. I'll have shoved it up your ass.
Signal's a bit dodgy this end at the moment, James, but I
guess you got the message back there.
Meanwhile, quite a few miles further back.
That's just having a rest.
Meanwhile, I'd caught up with the idiots, but I couldn't get past due to a railway network design fault.
Even here, we're stuck behind caravans.
If I'm honest, though, that wasn't the most immediate problem.
Oh, for God's sake! Oh, this is really bad. A member of the working classes is now taking a dump in full view of the editor of Railway Express magazine. Oh, whoa, no, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm very sorry about this.
Meanwhile, in the Aston...
Meanwhile, I'd chosen a spot to build my snow barrier.
I think about here. Or here. Nope. I think right. Start.
Meanwhile...
One of the purposes of the original Grand Tour wasn't just to look at things and learn about things, it was also to enhance your capabilities. You would learn to do things. You might do, I don't know, writing sonnets, playing musical instruments, regional cooking maybe. I'm having a go at watercolour painting. It's absolutely delightful. Apart from my reverie is occasionally interrupted by the disgusting bellow of Hammond's muscle car.
Meanwhile, James had got going and got stuck.
Don't see what I'm going to do then.
While Jeremy had resorted to shouting.
Come on! Come on! That sounds like I'm in a porn film.
Meanwhile, on the train, I'd been told I could cook lunch in the world's most fearsome Arga.
Who's on for a bacon sandwich?
It didn't go well.
Oh no!
Right up the chimney.
So bacon just flew out of the top of our train?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, up ahead... OK, I admit it, this is the worst road in the world ever. Mary was correct. Mary will probably turn out to be a prop forward who drives a JCB for fun at weekend.
Meanwhile...
It's a more pleasing place to be...
Please shut up.
...than this baby-sick brown Datsun.
It's not.
Sorry, I've just noticed you've got a helicopter landing pad here on the back.
Well, you've got a tent on top of yours. Look at your roof. That is not... You don't put that roof up, you pitch it.
Plainly.
Meanwhile, further up the road, I'd had an idea.
You may remember, viewers, Hammond broke my drum kit. So, as he waits down there for James to arrive...
Oh, God.
What if it were to go down the hill?
Very funny.
Oh, no!
Oh, my God!
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, what do I do now?
May's here.
Oh, joy!
Did you break my drum kit?
Yes.
Have you got a cold car now?
No, not cold. I'm going to die.
Fantastic. Driving a car that terrible, that old.
Sees Targa roof.
Yeah?
It may have fallen in the raging torrent. I've no idea how.
Meanwhile, over at the youth centre, things weren't so hectic.
You've got full screen. This is the best bit. It's a colour camera as well.
Meanwhile, my lack of power really was becoming a problem. Meanwhile, in the convertible, James was very unhappy with his new steering knob.
Oh God, it's the left-hander. Bend the knob. What is the matter with those two?
Really? I mean...
Meanwhile, somewhere not in Oxford. Tonight's new problem, I think, is the brake master cylinder.
Meanwhile, back in the sheep pens.
No, I've already been here.
Having solved my visibility issues,
Yes! Behold the strength of the man!
I was back on the move.
TG, come here! This is just me doing it. This is stupid. TG, come.
Meanwhile, James and I set about the complexities of the day.
No, it's really very simple. Our rented field is 25 acres big.
The field where we're currently filming One Dog and His Man.
TG, just round one up.
Meanwhile,
I think that ramp may have been a bit of a mistake because the view from here and the view over that way of trees suggests I am actually on top of the wall.
Still, could be worse.
Hi.
Hello, what I can on?
Yeah, have you seen a Fiat, a small black and white Fiat on your travels?
meanwhile.
Oh, God, no, wait. Many nettles. This may have a top speed of 40, but I'm not doing that now, really.
Meanwhile, down in the harbour, my colleagues had been rather distracted by all the parties.
Thank you, gentlemen. Hey!
Oh. Look confident, look like you do this all the time.
Quick, grab that woman with the things on sticks.
What?
Meanwhile,
It stopped! Ah! Water's coming into my car!
oh, this caused problems for James.
You're going to have to go round the outside. Straight ahead there. I'll tell you when to go right hand down. Good. There.
Oh, God. Cock.
Good, that's two. Good. Okay.
Why did you tell me to go? Why did I listen to you, you imbecile?
Meanwhile, Hammond had met his car.
I'm not used to this sort of thing.
You said you could ride.
Well, yeah, but I trot around the country lanes on a little pony, and this isn't quite the same sort of deal.
It's only a pony horse.
It's not. He's a hunter called Harry.
Richard, the fact of the matter is, OK, you passed your driving test. That qualified you to drive every car, yes? You don't get in a Bentley and go, oh, I'll never be able to control it.
Meanwhile, Hammond was heading for the next subway train with the help of Captain Compassionate.
Come on! Come on!
Meanwhile, back in the Bentley,
Jeremy!
clearly things weren't going well. So, meanwhile, back on the cabin cruiser,
Bloody hell! Mate,
What?
it's quite a lot of water. It's up to...
Oh, not again.
Meanwhile, my shortcut had got a bit boggy.
So nearly out. If I could just get it to climb up onto that other rutty bit. That's coming, here we go. Yes! Ha ha! You've got one of these, you can do that.
I meanwhile had found a track where I could go even faster.
Yeah, that is very quick now. It's good. Looking good.
However, meanwhile, a few miles down the road,
I'm going for second. Are you ready?
meanwhile, James was still stuck in a sheep pen. Really stuck.
No. Right, hang on. I can do...
in the Mulsanne.
I can't see a bloody thing. Come on! Oh, crikey, it's the Albanian Rosas.
Meanwhile...
Has he got to go in that?
Yes, he is.
Okay, see you on board.
Hello, thank you. Oh, God.
Meanwhile, in the GTV6... Oh no, what's that? That third? Right, good. Third. Fourth? Yeah, fourth. Or is it fourth or second? Right.
Meanwhile, at the Rack and Pinion, it was opening time.
Drop by for a beer later if you like.
Meanwhile, I'd got my car going again and was starting to regret it.
Yeah, this is quite hard work now, I'll be honest. I'm getting pretty tired. My left leg is agony. Gear change. My knee hurts. So do my ears, actually. I'm also quite cold.
Meanwhile, back at base...
Sit down, Colonel.
You're not interested in these, are you?
Do you know what? Your mind cannot comprehend of how uninterested I am in things like this.
Meanwhile, in the Fiat...
This car is absolutely horrible. I mean, the driving position, they put the steering wheel directly above the pedal, so to get comfortable, your arms have to be the same length as your legs, and mine aren't.
Meanwhile, further up the line, May had also got his foot down.
25 miles an hour.
But this turn of speed was causing a few problems. Meanwhile...
This is us.
Other than throwing myself down the stairs, this is all I got.
Probably missed that one.
Meanwhile, back at the convoy...
No! Not now. Wait, I've died!
Goodbye.
No, come on!
James, meanwhile, was dawdling along at the back, yet he seemed strangely unconcerned about this.
Now, on the face of it, viewers, this isn't much of a race because I've got the slowest car, we already know that. I only have the use of one arm and I'm steering with a squeaky frog bolted to the wheel. However, it's not that simple. In fact, I believe I will be first because he who is last shall be first, as we know.
Meanwhile, at the back...
Now, viewers, strictly between you and me, I may have made a bit of an error. How can I put it? The engine is too small, the suspension is too soft, and the gaps between the gear ratios are so big I could get another gearbox in them.
Meanwhile, back at the pub, I was repairing my damaged front end. Annoyingly, the pork that I bought is sort of triangular and doesn't look right, doesn't really fit. So I've got a side of beef, which I think will be great. And I'm just clearing away the old bone. You shoe. Shoe in Welsh. I'm warning you. How would you like to be a petrol filler cap?
Right.
Meanwhile, I was ready for the final charge.
Goodbye, losers. Ignition. Start. Oh, cock.
Meanwhile, Meanwhile, back at base, James was having a rethink.
I've decided to abandon my original idea because it was just too weak and too floppy, and instead I'm going to build a car out of bricks. And the basic materials for making the bricks are fresh mud with a bit of water in it, some straw to give it strength, and some sheep poo. You then use that to make the brick shape, and then you fire those in a kiln, and then you use the bricks to build the thing like a house, except of course it will be roughly the shape of a car.
Meanwhile, much further back, the soggy dog was not being so lucky.
Meanwhile, James and I had become entangled in a bit of a dogfight.
Target locked. I've got him. Dive!
Sod it!
I caught him napping.
You have sown the wind and you shall reap the whirlwind.
Meanwhile, we had only 5 minutes to catch our train connection. And, as ever...
We don't have to run.
No, you see, we do.
We don't. It's 5 minutes away. The
Running
train
is
for another
faster
15
than walking.
minutes.
It's just a fact.
Not really.
If I get on the train and you miss it, that's tough.
Meanwhile, down in Oxford, the Stig was revealing something new about himself. He has a bladder.
We're going to go...
Richard, meanwhile, had, for some reason, put the shipping forecast on the doors of the Fiesta. Why have you got Stormy on the side of your car?
Because that's the name of the rapper that young people adore.
No, that's Storm Z. Well, Stormy's that sexual intercourse enthusiast in America.
Popular with young people?
Meanwhile, I'd headed for an organic farm shop to test out my young people modification.
What I've fitted to my car, it's powered by the same USB port that you'd normally use to recharge your vape bong, is the most important thing in a millennial's life. And that is, of course, a juicer. Ta-da! Now, using this, I can make a whole range of tasty and nutritious juices using a variety of ethically sound ingredients. And that means I won't be beholden to evil American corporations that murder baby veals and snap the beaks off chickens.
Meanwhile, in the Ford...
Everything's okay, temperature's good. Can't tell you how easy this is on my car. Oh! Oh! That's a big rock at the bottom of that puddle.
Meanwhile, after his success with the staged bin fire, James was now getting carried away.
Ah, looks like a job for me. My pleasure.
Meanwhile, far ahead, my four-wheel drive Subaru was scampering along.
Come on, come on. I am king of the forest.
Meanwhile, having got rid of the ape, I was back on my sightseeing tour.
This is our Cheddar Gorge. Obviously, it's not as big as your gorge. The Grand Canyon is bigger, but it's longer and deeper and wider.
But it doesn't have any cheese in it.
Why can't you just leave me alone?
I'm just saying, everything in America comes with cheese, apart from the Grand Canyon. Whereas this canyon does come with cheese, and it's delicious. Here, have some.
I don't want cheese.
It's better than Monterey Jack in a tube.
You're ruining this.
No, you...
Meanwhile, to pay him back for breaking it in the first place, I decided to redecorate his treasured bike.
You know, he will be apocalyptically cross about
Oh, I know,
this.
but he's crossed about everything, so it doesn't really... It doesn't really...
Let us have a go. Oh, yes.
Meanwhile, Hammond's Ferrari had decided all on its own to make a telephone call.
Selected. Calling Vernon K.
Vernon?
Is this correct?
Why are you calling Vernon K? Why are you doing that?
While in the BMW...
Kato, my suit jacket. Kato, fire extinguisher. Kato, now. Thank you. Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the Daytona...
How was that? Oh, bad. Hang on. You all right?
Meanwhile, far behind...
This is what Black Shadow was built to deal with. Continual heavy drizzle. Yeah, it's... I'm fine. I love the bike. It's still my hero. Steve McQueen had one, you know.
Class.
Meanwhile, I was wooing the ladies.
Citroen C4 costs, I was just mentioning it, costs £12,895 with £1,100 cashback. 10.6 seconds to 60 now. Which is not exactly class leading, but it's enough. That was road test stuff, what do you think? It's not
It's road test chat.
Not very cool, is it, really?
Meanwhile, back on the lake, my life was getting even worse.
Right, situation update. I've run aground. Can't even turn my boat into wind because it's stuck. And there's a storm coming.
Meanwhile, James had worked wonders with the Jag, succeeding in his garage where British Leyland had failed. He was so confident, in fact, that he started a new sport of Hammond bashing.
Got him.
That was out of order!
Looked like such fun that I decided to have a go myself and set off in hot pursuit.
Come on then, come and get it, big fella!
So I did.
It's not the winning. It's not the taking part. It's just bashing Hammond.
That, of course. Meanwhile, James and I, keen to be ready for any emergency, had decided to buy vital rescue equipment.
Why? What's that bit there for? Is that...
Can opener, bottle opener.
What's it?
You need a bottle.
It's a bottle opener.
It opens beer. Yes. We want them. That's worth having, isn't it?
What is it?
Scrapey, brushy.
You think it's a brush?
Well, okay, saw the brush off. I can't buy just one end, can I? But,
there you go. See, there's just one end.
yeah, but you might as well have a brush as well.
No, you don't need a brush.
Meanwhile, Richard was in charge of valet parking.
Hello, welcome, hello. Right, thank you. I'm going to put this somewhere prominent. I love the paint, by the way, sir. Key. Oh, hello, that'll do.
Meanwhile, in the Open University...
When we get to this next one, stop that stopwatch and start that one at exactly the same time. Then you've got a record on that one to write down, and that one's then timing it to the next one. In fact, don't, because that'll confuse us, because we have to take it away. Just leave that one running, but jot down what the time actually said. Yeah?
Meanwhile, further back in the EOW.
I bet you she's still 2 minutes ahead.
Why have you stopped?
Because there's an entire farm coming towards me.
Meanwhile, I'd found a track.
This must take me back to the road. Oh my God, tractor. Oh!
Meanwhile...
Or do you have a bread roll? I'm starving. I need to eat. I'm so hungry. Yes. Danke. Oh. What are these? It's bloody rivy.
Meanwhile...
I am feeling a bit sick now, if I'm honest. Oh. Is that a police car? Oh, dear. Oh.
Meanwhile, James's car had shed so much weight that he was able to get free. and start raping the countryside again to rebuild it.
Bastards. Bastards.
80 miles an hour! Ha-ha!
Meanwhile,
Penis, it's my tannoy.
Meanwhile, my race was going well.
Yes, I've just done James Mays. Somehow I ended up on the infield.
That was a catastrophic mistake!
But sadly, I overcooked it, trying to take Leisure's stig.
Oh! Lost my brakes completely.
Meanwhile... And he wasn't finished yet. Meanwhile, we were still thinking of things we weren't supposed to do.
Right, ready? You ready? Here, okay.
Go.
2 revving V8s and the alarms went berserk.
Run away! Run away!
Go, go, go! Don't screech your wheels.
Oh, well, that helps, Jeremy, that helped.
Meanwhile, in the local village, Hammond was blending in nicely.
It's a bit tight. Got alarms going off. Sorry.
Meanwhile, in the Aston.
I wonder how much more of this I have to endure before I can admit that this is a terrible car and that I hate it and I want to go home.
Meanwhile, back in PC world...
I didn't mean Jeremy's car was rubbish because it's a midget. I just meant that's what it is. It's an MG midget. I'm sorry.
Hammond, meanwhile, had abandoned the Land Rover and stolen a child's tent.
Okay.
I'm not sure that the escape chute actually works. Hang on a minute. Ah! I might have got my shoulders stuck.
Meanwhile, Hammond was having some issues as well.
What I should have done is bring a small car rather than a Mini. Oh. I can't do it.
Meanwhile, James was having his first breakdown of the day.
Oh. No. This time, it was the transfer box, which had burst free from its mountings.
That's the transfer box. That's the bracket where it's bolted on. Those 2 bolts have been shaken out.
Oh, God. It's just me.
Meanwhile, far, far away.
Now look at this, it's a 17th century pub, and look at that step there. Now if you're in a normal, conventional electric wheelchair, that would be game over and no pint. But now, watch this. Full power. Oh, hang on. Oh, cock.
Still, could be worse.
Fenton! Oh, Jesus Christ!
Meanwhile, in the Renault...
Come on! Spin! Yes! Ow! It's this lorry driving, it turns out, is quite a lot harder than I thought.
Have you done something to your leg as well?
Yeah, the gear lever's gone up my arse.
Right, okay.
Meanwhile, much further back...
Now that my weight is on the back wheels, I have traction. Oh yeah, I'm surfing now.
Meanwhile, Jeremy was being as practical as ever. Meanwhile, in the Illumi Craft Class 10...
I've got dust in my face. It doesn't have a windscreen. I don't like cars with no windscreen. Why do I let the others talk me into this? Why don't I just tell them to bugger off?
Meanwhile, in the next street, James had encountered a Peugeot driver.
Sorry to disturb you, gentlemen, in the silver Peugeot, but this is an ambulance and this is an emergency. It really is a matter of great importance that you make way for the ambulance. Thank you.
Meanwhile, I'd finally managed to put my roof up.
Oh, yes. There's a chance. There's a chance.
Which was time well spent.
Holy shit!
Oh, bollocks!
Meanwhile, James and I were having a ball in the madness of it all.
Whoa! This is such a melee. I've been riding bikes for 25 years and I've never done anything like this.
I think you just improvised.
It's amazing. It just sort of works.
Do you know how to start it?
No.
All right, get on.
Well, some Vietnamese people came and they just trod on it and it started. Oh. Meanwhile, we'd met someone from Richard's fan club.
Hello.
How do you do? I'm Jeremy Clarkson.
I know.
This is Richard Hammond.
I'm Richard, nice to see you.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
Hey.
And tell me, what do we do on a caravan holiday?
Now we're here.
Go round and see the countryside.
Mm-hmm.
Fill up the loo.
Just do
Fill up the loo.
Yeah.
homework.
Do you want a cup of tea?
Meanwhile, after a 2.5-hour wait, my knight in shining armour finally arrived.
Hi.
Meanwhile, Richard hauled me into the circuit's conference suite for a PowerPoint presentation.
Right, what I've got here is a graph showing the torque curves for each of the three
You're
cars.
only doing this on a PowerPoint so M3 drivers know what you're on about.
No, it's the easiest way to show
No,
it. Shut
you
up.
don't.
What do you want for supper tonight, darling? Well, I'll get my laptop out, and as you can see on this graph, 40% of me wants a shepherd's pie with peas,
Shut
60% wants lamb chops. That's a year-on-year
Shut up and pay
increase.
attention. This is useful information. These are the torque curves for each of the cars. So that's your Mercedes, that's the Audi, that's the BMW.
Meanwhile, back with Captain Pugwash.
Sod it.
Right, now, sail. Ow.
We were leaving the harbour.
You can't see what's coming, I can!
Meanwhile, Ken Livingstone was eating my wallet.
Oh, joy. Hi there. Have you got a congestion charge?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes,
How much
please.
is it?
£5, please.
£5?
Yes.
Meanwhile, in Frankie Dettori's car...
No! Ah! Oh, sorry, viewers.
Meanwhile, in a high-tech Ferrari, the man from 1947 was having a bit of a struggle.
James, how are you getting on with your steering wheel?
You've no idea how it works, have you?
Meanwhile, back in the workshop, Christina has discovered Lego's remarkable propensity for not being waterproof. Here's the sink.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. Oh, it is. Okay.
Meanwhile, back where Jeremy had left us... Just going to wear the clip up, I'm not careful.
Come on!